InterVarsity and crew are hoping to reach unreached campuses across the country, and one of them is right here in Orange County, California. Until recently, Santa Ana College in Southern California counted itself as one of more than the 1,800 unreached college campuses in the country. That means no organized gospel witness on campus. Shannon Compere develops leaders for Crew, formerly Campus Crusade for Christ.
It takes a lot to launch movements in new locations and even to sustain what we have. It takes a lot of resources, whether it's people, money.
That's one reason Crew is joining with InterVarsity to bring in churches and other Christian groups to find new, more efficient ways to reach those unreached campuses. The movement is aptly named Every Campus.
So it's actually multiplying our efforts. Instead of competing with each other, we want to complement each other.
Students Jerry Requena and Tammy Pacheco are making it happen at Santa Ana. Both are volunteer leaders mentored by InterVarsity staff. Pacheco drives half an hour from her college to Santa Ana to organize Bible studies.
To want to see every single campus have a ministry is like a huge, crazy goal, but it stems from a thirst to see people reached by Jesus.
Requena studies at Santa Ana and maintains a demanding work schedule, but says he's convinced God wants him to minister on this campus.
There's no good reason not to sacrifice some time. There's no good reason to not work hard, even if I have to lose sleep, for the Lord first and foremost,
Tom Allen oversees the Southern California region for InterVarsity. He sees this move as radically changing campus ministry. Traditionally, InterVarsity placed several full-time workers at one location.
We're sort of breaking that paradigm open and saying there's campuses around us that we haven't even really seen.
Now, InterVarsity hopes to use volunteer student leaders, local churches, and other Christian organizations for outreach. Those campuses include community colleges, historically black colleges, and even online students.
I think some moments of humility say, God, we have not seen the harvest fields around us.
And the fields are ripe. InterVarsity says some 4,500 students made decisions for Christ last year, double the number 10 years ago. Still, in the midst of this harvest, an ominous trend is picking up steam. Many universities have taken non-discrimination policies designed to keep students safe and use them against Christian clubs. The schools often tell Christian student groups they can't require a statement of faith. If they refuse, the university will no longer recognize the club.
70% of the universities are just saying the non-discrimination policy prohibits student groups from discriminating. Therefore, what you're doing is discrimination. We should bar you.
In following this trend, Greg Howe says Christian groups can lose the privilege of reserving rooms on campus and recruiting members at student fairs. Plus, there's a social cost.
Other student groups and professors, student administrators will tell students, don't join that group, they're not recognized.
But Howe is more concerned with the long-term outlook.
I think what you're watching is actually a fundamental reorganization of how universities deal with religious groups, which sets up the next generation of leaders in our country to assume that religious groups should be sidelined or restricted from the public square.
While Howe expects to see more of this in the coming years, he's not alarmed, citing persecution faced by the early church. He believes the best strategy is going directly to university administrators.
In many of those cases, we're able to talk with the university to say, if you want to create a truly diverse, inclusive, tolerant environment, help the religious groups stay distinctly religious.
Howe says student leaders can also highlight their many service projects and explain how ministry groups serve as a safety net for many minority students. Today's students make up the most diverse generation to set foot on America's campuses. As digital natives, they're processing information and images in seconds. And most important, they're creating new strategies to reach their friends with the gospel in a time when the good news is not always welcomed.
They want to change the planet. They want the environment of the planet to be a positive one. And so I have a lot of hope for the future because of these college students today.
Reporting in Southern California, Heather Sells, CBN News.